Hello YouTube, it's Josh here. Just before we get into this new episode of the Spikehead podcast, there will be a time code, by the way, if you just want to skip straight to it. Just want to apologise for the delay in this video coming out. It was supposed to have gone up on the 29th on the Sunday at 7, but because this was a purely just audio podcast, there was no cameras on either of us, I decided to whack some visuals over the top of it, like references to the scenes, figuring, because I'm not using the audio from the clips in question, and that we're commentating the entire way through it, that it'll be fine. But YouTube has blocked the video worldwide, so I'm having to go back and re-edit the whole thing, so it's literally just going to be an image of the Terminator logo with the Spikehead podcast and Terry on it. So it's not going to be most appealing to look at this video, and just feel free to listen to that in the background, whether you're listening to it on YouTube. If you listen to it on SoundCloud, it won't affect you in any way whatsoever. The SoundCloud video will all be up, but the YouTube video has unfortunately had to be delayed. I had the same issue with Ready Player One, but they only demonetized me. They didn't copyright claim it, they didn't block it anywhere. And that I am going to dispute eventually when it's back to normal, because I was commentating and making reference and analysing the entire way through the Ready Player One. This one, I'm 100% sure over how much leniency I will have in regards to this. So it might be just the only version that you will see on YouTube. But regardless, I do apologise for this. But regardless, enjoy this podcast and hope you do enjoy. And the Why I Love Movie series, that will still continue. But yeah, copyright. What a thing. Anyway, hello there, people of YouTube or SoundCloud, whichever platform you are listening on. Welcome back to the Spikehead podcast for episode number 17, I think. This was going to be a little discussion about Parasite, but me and my friend Terry here have just watched the Terminator. For myself, it was my second viewing. For Terry, it was your third, was it?
I think
third time ever.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, we've seen the second one a lot more, probably. I've seen the second one like 5-6 times.
Oh yeah, no, definitely seen the second one the most. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to have a little sit-down chat in the very same vein as my Glass podcast and my Infinity War podcast. We're just going to sit down, talk about and break through the whole film. So, Terry, remember when you first watched Terminator?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was maybe like 13, 14, something like that. And I think I'd watched Predator a little bit before that. And I remember being like, I remember loving it, but also being like, I'm too young to be watching this. Like, it gave me some bad dreams. Like, it was very freaky, horrific. And then, so I cautiously watched Terminator as well. And this one was way more like perfect for me at the time, I think, because this one was like, it was still scary, but it was like a scary amount that I could handle, at that age. Like, it just got my blood running,
It gives you time to breathe, Terminator does, whereas Predator, the entire time you're going to the Predator's POV, and people getting butchered left, right, and centre, plus people getting their heads ripped out their skulls.
And I think the thing is, like, the sci-fi in Terminator is something I was really more, like, invested in, the stuff, because you had, like, time travel and robots and stuff like that. Stuff like that was, like, so much more, for me, like, just being really engaging.
As a young lad, it's, like, really interesting. Myself, my first viewing was... So my dad went through this phase of just showing me all these little franchises. It was me and my brother, and he had the first three Terminators on disc.
Yeah.
I think it might have been VHS at the time. I can't remember that. I was like 13, 14 at the time,
VHS,
same as you. And yeah, we watched Terminator 1. I remember being utterly terrified by the damn thing.
Yeah.
Because my young mind didn't know anything about CG or effects or anything like that. I was just like watching films for films. But no, that film was absolutely terrifying. And I must say, on the second viewing, though, I definitely see a lot more than what I did the first time round.
Yeah.
Which seems weird to say, but I always reference Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, the fact that, she goes from the stamps and stress in 1 to a badass in 2. It's like, Nah, she was badass by the end of this one.
Well, definitely like the first nugget of that, the first step towards being Terminator 2 Sarah Connor is there, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely hints to it. But we're gonna go through this like scene by scene, or to the best of our memory, like you've seen.
All right,
so
yeah.
obviously we have a bit of post-apocalyptic jargon, and then we have a bit of lightning.
Just a smidget, yeah. Some nice futuristic, like skulls being crushed by futuristic tanks and such. I think it's quite a original looking future. Like I don't remember seeing.
It really is. I don't think every post-apocalyptic future prior to Terminator 1, unless there's another film that I am unaware of, they always seem to be dystopians with all living in buildings and stuff. It's just like a disease or a zombie apocalypse. Yeah. Well, this one's just like, it's machines that are doing it.
Yeah, and I remember, I think this one stood out for being, it might not have been the most original, but like, as far as like, how devastating the future really does look. Like, there isn't a single standing building in the future, in this future. Like, it's chaos. Like, and it's just, there's bodies and like skeletons make up the floor. Like, that's how like bad this future is.
No, honestly, I love to know how they filmed it, because they always shot those like future scenes really tight. I swear they must have used the same warehouse on 3 different occasions there and just built different sets.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know for the second one, I think they used like, there's a Warner Brothers like lot where they have like loads of old burnt cars and stuff like that, where they used for that kind of just devastation background. So I think maybe that was, but I'm not sure about the first one. They might not have had the budget for that.
Yeah, the first one. What was the budget of the first one? I'm just gonna do a quick box of. Well, I'm gonna IMDb it. I'm getting mixed up. Box Office Mojo, which is the box office.
Surprisingly low budget for what they got away with.
Oh yeah, it does show, but they use the budget effectively.
Absolutely effectively, yeah.
Let's see. Budget for the Terminator. The computer is running very slow. Do bear with me. And oof, that post is still good. But no, I do love how it's very vague in the opening as well. You just get a block of text saying something about future, but it's getting fought in the present.
Yeah, just the main nugget. All you need to know is in the future, it all goes to hell and machines revolt and take over. And that's essentially it. Then it's...
Yeah, then it cuts back and you have a little bit of lightning showing... First up, you see Arnold Schwarzenegger for the first time coming through as the Terminator with glorious butt cheeks.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, you have no idea what the hell's going on. All we see is lightning, and then a naked Arnold Schwarzenegger appears.
And then
so like, okay then.
Schwarzenegger. Yeah, and then he goes up to these 3 punks, and well, that scene's just very effective. Though I like how you didn't realise you saw Arnold Schwarzenegger's dong just flopping out. Yeah. And it might not be him; it might just be another built guy like him. But you can clearly see, like, does it flop a couple?
There is
of times.
no built. Why would it not be Schwarzenegger?
I mean, he might be. To be fair, was Arnold big back then?
No, not. This is what made him big. That's the thing. Like he was Hercules in New York before this. He was when you want a dumb bodybuilder guy to stand in for somebody for a second, like you get this guy, you know. So this is the film that made him. But so I didn't think I'd expect to be seeing Schwarzenegger's schlong, so that was a bonus.
It was an interesting one.
And then he was. They had that interaction where he's like trying to figure. He like copies what they say because they say something like and he just copies it. So it's like already the machine's trying to figure out. Oh, okay, so this is the dialect. This is like what people are talking like. He's just. It's all research. You know. He's like he looks like he's. I think he's just beautifully cast for that. To be fair, like it work. It's why it worked. He has that very stone cold look, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's like very good at hiding. So it's funny because like you see him things like Kindergarten Cops and all these comedies. You see his like vlogs as the governor of what is it now? Australia, California. Well, he does all these like lovely epic videos. Happy guy. His quarantine's been spent looking after llamas. Have you seen some of those videos? There,
I know, right?
They are
llamas.
He's literally.
I'm sure he's a sweetheart, really. You know, but.
Just funny that this nice man we know now originally bursts here as this like stoic, cold-blooded.
He makes a great bad guy. Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't do it more often. You know, he's only ever tried to sort of undo that reputation since the Terminator, I think, hasn't he? You know,
yeah,
like only being in things where it's like, hey, you wouldn't expect a big muscly guy to be, you know, a kindergarten teacher or whatever. You know.
And then like they established very early how powerful he is because these three folks are coming at him. I mean, at this point, we don't even know he's a machine. They've not mentioned machines yet.
Yeah,
You saw this
yeah.
big naked guy that's not blinking, but you get a sense that he's
There's something off about him.
yeah. And then it's all he just straight up fists the guy through the stomach,
Yeah, punches straight through him.
like straight through. Great little effect.
And straight
as
away you
well.
realise it's gritty, it's horrific, it's like unforgiving is what we're going to be.
I love the way they shot that as well. It's sort of like the way they did it is they had the person he punched close to the camera and Arnold further back from the camera. So he punched him, the guys had to lean forward. So you saw his fist basically at the body, but at an angle where.
Sure, and then you just cut to a piece of clothing and have his bloody hand come out of it, and that's your shot.
Right, clever shot. Yeah, $6.4 million US was the budget for this one. Now, it's actually popping up with 3 other budgets for Terminator films. So Judgment Day.
Oh, I bet that was huge.
$100 million.
There you go. That's I like it. How crazy is that? That's like almost.
Terminator Genesis, $155 million.
Oh, God.
Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, $187.3 million US.
To be fair, I think that was the biggest budget of its time. Like Terminator 3 when it came out.
Shame Terminator 3 was god awful.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Just it's like let's make this like
And look,
harder.
for a fraction of the budget, this film is so tasty.
Literally, that small budget is mad to think about.
I mean, think about everything that happens in that film. There's explosions, trucks blow up, an entire police station gets like shot to crap. Are we allowed to swear on this?
You can swear I am.
Okay, good, yeah.
I don't get monetized anyway, so it's all good.
Okay. Yeah, just like everything you'd want. You've got like they built like actual physical Terminators to interact and stuff, and have like, movable arms, eyes, faces. Like it.
Oh, we'll definitely
incredible.
We'll definitely get
Car
to
chases
that.
galore.
We'll definitely get through to that Terminator because that Terminator design was something else. But then straight after that, we cut to another person coming from back in time with the sparks. But this person doesn't quite get up the same way as Arnold Schwarzenegger does. He's grunting, he's moaning, he's in a form of pain. There's scars on him.
He seems.
They well established that he is definitely human.
Wow, yeah, he's definitely flawed and in all the right ways.
Yeah, he's flawed, but he's human as well. That's one thing I like about it is they have asked what to say, come out, be stoic, doesn't make a grunt of pain, and then it's given away like, yeah, he's basically a machine, or he's something superhuman.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Reese comes down, and
If you can't tell by looking at him.
you can't tell, but the fact he's making grunts is just the giveaway saying, yeah, this is a human. He's not like the other one. He is definitely not as OP as this big boy just arrived. And then he corners a cop and asks what the date is.
Yeah, and I think it's fitting that like the first thing that Arnold does when he arrives down is just like calm, casually walk over to someone and demand for their stuff. Whereas when Kyle Reese appears, all we're doing is seeing him running away from police and crap. He's just filled with fear and hiding like a little. It's the difference between like a predator and a prey. Their responses to things. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger's the lion and Kyle Reese is the little mouse.
Yeah, that's what
just trying to evade.
He's basically the OP one. He's full of confidence. Kyle Reese, he's more fragile, so he's got to do more running around with it. And I just love that he asked what year it is, and a couple of them was like, "Huh? What are you talking about, man?" And I just that's giveaway. It's just like anyone could put two and together. It's like, oh, it's from the future then.
Yeah, that's great. I love that we didn't have to see in the future him going to the experimental lab. It's a time machine. Oh, but it can only send back like all this stuff. Then sending him back. Then being like 1984, and then we cut to you didn't need any of that. You just needed that one line about him being like, what year, and then before you can be like, oh crap, is he?
Yeah, it must be from the future, this lad. And then even the Sarah Connor stuff, obviously we know Sarah Connor's an iconic heroine now. But back then, the first notice you see of her is Arnold Schwarzenegger looking at this book. Well, I'm going to start calling her Terminator rather than Arnold.
Yeah.
And he just sees 3 names saying Sarah Connor, he rips the page out. And he just focuses on the name. So it's like, oh, Sarah Connor, what's so important about this? This film does a great job of pacing itself.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't give everything away. It gives you in little doses.
You're constantly
little
trying
crumbs.
to figure out as you go along and guessing and getting little bits more information in every scene that so then you start going, oh, okay, so it wasn't specifically, he kills his first Sarah Connor, and then he goes somewhere else, and you're like, and then he kills another Sarah Connor. And you're like, oh, he's after Sarah Connor, so it's specifically Sarah Connor's. Then that's when we know our main girl's called Sarah Connor. It's like, oh, it's probably her he's after. We still don't know why.
Yeah, like they don't give that away until halfway through the film. 'Cause remember, I paused the film at that moment where it was revealed. I was like, how long is it?
47 minutes in, I think it was.
Yeah, and there was like 53 minutes left, and that's counting credits. So that's like halfway through the film. They say, right, this is the whole deal there.
Yeah.
But it does enough to just tease you all the way through.
And I think they do a great job actually of like Sarah Connor being like, sorry, that's me,
Buzzing away.
being like she just seems very real, like a very relatable person. You know, she works at a diner as a waitress, and it's just a shitty, you know, it's a crappy shift. People being really demanding and stuff, and like.
Yeah, that one kid that puts the ice cream in a uniform for some reason. Like, what kid does that? I don't care if you're...
Just a little hellraiser.
Yeah, but what kid wastes ice cream? I would never waste ice cream. Me, I would eat it till I was sick. So that was an interesting little thing to see. And then what else that was like? She has a best friend called Ginger. There's a funny little scene where she answers that, because she's her flatmate basically. She answers the phone to what is Ginger's boyfriend. He doesn't realise, so he starts saying all these sexual things. And Sarah's just there cracking up. And there's Ginger just poofing the hair up with her little Walkman. Classic little Walkman there that she never takes off.
She
for
never
some
takes
reason.
off the entire film.
Literally not off.
The Walkman had just come out, I think, that year, so everyone was like...
So it's like that was like heavy product placement, but it's used quite well.
Where does everyone had one? I guess I don't know. But yeah, I think she's just real. It's real nice, and it's just cute, and like she gets stood up for a date and stuff, and I don't know. Your heart goes out to her straight away. You just feel like.
Oh, was it a date?
She was gonna go on a date because she was supposed to be like a double date, I think, between those two.
Yeah.
A roommate and a boyfriend, and that's why she was getting all dressed up and stuff to go with them.
Yeah.
And then that guy, and then he rang up cancelling on her.
So when
So that's when she was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to the movies or something instead."
Ah, right. I was watching at the work. Shows how blind I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the whole monologue there. All the while, Kyle Reese has been tracking her down. He manages to find her first time. Like, well played to Kyle Reese, you know. He could have gone to be fair, I guess he just probably went to all the addresses and was just like, right, that's not Sarah. That's not Sarah.
Crime scene.
It's like all the crime scenes. And it's like, oh, you're the girl in the photo. I know exactly who you are. Whereas the Terminator, he busts in.
Oh, all he has is a name, yeah.
Yeah, all he has is a name. He doesn't know anything about what she looks like, what she talks like. He busts into Sarah Connor's place. He kills Ginger and her boyfriend in. What? It's so heartbreaking when he kills him.
Yeah.
Like, the boyfriend can clearly handle himself in a fight, but he's taken on the machine, so he was fucked.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And then Ginger, who's all the while for some reason still dancing with that freaking Walkman, like, just bopping around with this Walkman.
Bit too late.
Yeah, she gets shot in the back. She's crawling away desperately. Just gets shot multiple times in the back of the head.
And then just when you think, oh, so this could be it, like the Terminator might have thought, because clearly thought that was Sarah Connor.
He thought mission accomplished. He's like, that's Sarah.
About to go, and then Sarah has to call in, doesn't she, to her roommates, telling them where she is because she's worried because she's heard about all these other Sarah Connors dying on TV and stuff.
Yeah, and she's noticed Kyrie's following her.
Great. Another just great thing because you're watching going, oh, fuck no.
Oh, it feels so mean-spirited when Ginger dies, though. It's just so brutal.
Yeah, well,
they don't show you the whole thing, but it's just so brutal.
Well, but I think that's the thing of just like showing you that, like, yeah, this is serious bees. You know, you can't be thinking, because you need that to think they may not succeed. Sarah Connor may get killed in this.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that happening like that. And what with even like the nice police officers and stuff, which we keep cutting back to, them dying and shit. Like, it could just go to show you that, anyone can die in this. Like, they're not being like safe at all. Like,
oh no, everyone's like, you're watching, you're just like, how are they gonna beat this thing? Like, all Kyle and Sarah do is run. They even say we're just gonna kill it. They're just like, we're gonna make some bombs. We're gonna try and kill it, and it just spirals from there. But yeah, speaking of the cops, Lance Hendrickson's in this. I didn't even know. I know. I've got a pitch. In my videos, you watch my reviews, you'll see this picture in the background. It's me with Lance Hendrickson. Couldn't believe it. I saw him in the opening credits. I'm like, he's in this? And it's like, yeah, he's the other cop that's just walking around with the cop.
Surprised you didn't know.
To be fair, I was quite young when I watched this. It was like a decade. Wait, I'm 20. Yeah, it was a decade ago now for me. So I can forgive myself for that because I know him mainly from Aliens because Bishop's just like a don when it comes to cybernetic robots. But yeah, as you mentioned,
sure, he knows.
as you mentioned, Sarah Connor calls up and says, "Oh, I'm at this place, but I'm not leaving because someone's following me."
Yep.
So big old Terminator's just like, right, I'm going to call and find out where this place is. Finds the address book, and he just goes in. Like, there's a little funny scene where you had to pay $4.50 to get in, which...
Yeah, which obviously just ignores.
And the desk lady says to a bouncer, "Hey, he's not paid." So he's like, "Hey, pal." He just reaches across, doesn't even look. He just crushes his hand and walks off.
Not going to stop him, is it? Yeah, a great scene. Very 80s dancing, which is amusing to watch. And yeah, just, because of course, at this point, Sarah's thinking that Carl Reese is the one as well that's after her, like he's going to kill her. Because she's noticed him following her. And so, yeah, to see him, that sort of switcheroo, Terminator's about to kill her, and she's just like staring like a cat in headlights.
Yeah, that's a beautiful moment. Because she's looking at, because she sees Carl Reese and she still thinks he's the killer.
Yeah.
And then this big bastard just walks up in slow motion, pulls a gun up, deer in headlights, and then Carl just springs into action.
Just manages to save her. And it all makes sense as well, because it's like, all these motivations, because like Carl Reese was saying, like he wasn't sure who the Terminator was as well, so he couldn't just go around shooting people. He had to wait until he made a move before he could be sure. That hence why he had to leave it to that last minute. And just everything about this felt really tight, and I feel like that's
it's really tightly written.
Yeah, I think that's one of its strengths. He didn't necessarily have the budget to do what exactly he might have wanted to do. Hence why he went on to do the second one, James Cameron. I'm talking about. And then fulfill his vision more clearly, but I think it had plenty there, to really keep it and work within the constraints of what they had. I think they did beautifully.
Yeah, and then let's see, we have a little shooting off fight, and they drive away, and yeah. All you need to know about the scene is like shooting, some innocents die. Kyle grabs Sarah Connor, chucks her in the car.
Yeah, I mean, some decent car chases in this, some classic car chases.
Police are after him because the policeman sees them driving with R. Schwarzenegger on the list. They think, oh, hit and run. So immediately like what's it called now? An ETB? Something B?
I'm not familiar with 80s New York police slang.
They say it in every cop movie, just like APB. They put an APB out on his vehicle. That's it. That's the one I was looking for. And then what happens next? They park in the garage, don't they?
Oh yeah, and then he finally
Yeah, at this point, this is like 40 odd minutes in that we find out. Oh yeah, right. I'm from the future. We were fucked, but then this guy called John Connor. By the way, that's your son, and I came back from time to protect you because I want to kill you first.
Yeah, of course she doesn't believe him. She tries to escape.
Yeah, tries to escape. I love he grabs that and then she bites him, and he just says, "Terminators don't feel pain. I do, so don't do that, please."
yeah, bless.
Like, great impressions there.
But I think Carl Reese was so convincing in that moment as well. He doesn't play it big. He doesn't play it like this huge thing. He just plays it so like sad and straight. Like this is the future. This is what's happening. That it sort of is like weirdly convincing, even if you don't, even if you're in that predicament. I feel like you'd be like. You'd believe at least he believed it.
Yeah, definitely. And you believe it because you see the sparks and that. You've seen this Terminator going around. But
well, yeah, obviously she's not like, as soon as he starts mentioning time travel, that's when she's like, okay,
that's going off here.
That can't be true. But yeah.
But no.
Then it comes from again.
Everyone always, before we go to the next bit, everyone always sings Linda Hamilton's praise for the second one, how great she does. I quite enjoy her facial reactions in this first bit. Like, she goes from like panic to just this deer in headlights to this shaking, trembling mess. And then when Carl speaks to her, she just suddenly snaps and starts screaming. Like, I bought every second of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I honestly, from what I've heard, anyway, it's Linda Hamilton in general from these both films. It's from the first one of being this everyday person going through all this trauma and sort of coming out of it, and then the second one of this transformation more into a full-on badass sort of thing. So it's both, yeah, and that's why it's so amazing. Like if she just did one of those, even if you'd only ever seen her in the second one, you'd be like, okay, she can play stoic and badass, but I don't necessarily relate to her that much, But because we've seen her in this first one, we're like, oh yeah, she's what is this even the same person?
She was fragile and damsel, like.
It was just so relatable. It wasn't even like, I don't think she even. I even give it testimony. I always say this about like James Cameron films though in general, which is that he's good at having females who are just characters like any other character, that don't. Their femininity isn't something that defines them that much,
Yeah, that's one thing
like
I
with
like about those
Ripley and
things.
Alien and stuff.
Yeah, like obviously Ripley was based on Alien 1 by Ridley Scott, but he sort of like doubled down on the Ripley the legend in Aliens.
Yeah.
Obviously you had Newton there, so it's just like, oh yeah, she's a woman and she's got the maternal instincts. At the start, it's just like she finds out her daughter's dead because she's been in hypersleep so long, and then she finds this girl called Newt who's basically the same age as her daughter, so she's obviously going to latch onto her, and that was one of the most pinnacle parts of Aliens. But we'll talk about that one another day.
Yeah.
We're going to come back to Terminator. So, the Terminator finds him in this car park. Another chase ensues.
Of course.
Some questionable bullet logic because there are bullet holes in Linda Hamilton's side of Sarah Connor's side of the door.
That's
she's not hit.
That's just film.
Just
guns,
film logic, right there.
Just like bullets. A wooden table can stop shotgun shells if you hide behind it. In a film, like that's just.
Yeah, she starts to get a little bit more hands on here. Like one bit, she has to take the wheel for Kyle, and then eventually she breaks. The Terminator crashes. And the police rock up, and she stops Kyle from going out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. She Kyle's literally ready to fucking take on the world to protect her. So she has to be like, no, they will kill you. You need to stop now.
But it makes sense now because later on we'll get to that in a bit. But you find out how Kyle feels about her the entire way through. But you only find out about it in like the last little bit.
Yeah.
So it makes a lot more sense how like crazy he goes when it comes to
the thing, that's the world he's been brought up in, isn't it? Like he hasn't had this kind of civilization where there's police and if you put your hands up they'll arrest you and then they'll take you back and they'll just interview you. Like he doesn't. Why would he even know all that stuff?
Yeah, he doesn't have a clue. So I'm gonna mute my laptop because for some reason I'm popular.
And the Terminator's damaged, so he waddles off.
Yeah,
So they
Terminator
don't manage to get him.
Yeah, we're going to get to this great scene now. So Terminator's in a motel room.
Yeah.
And there's this, he cuts his arm open. You screamed a little bit. But there's
it looks really real.
The prosthetics in this are fantastic. And then he, takes his eye out. That's one bit that's damaged.
Yeah.
And they hold it for so long. They don't show you what's behind the eye for the longest time. And you just see this red eye. The face mask is a bit questionable. But obviously,
there's a couple shots where you see his full-on face mask and it looks a little rubbery, but for the most part, I mean the hand as well. You get to see the circuits moving in his. They built some wicked animatronics.
Yeah,
for this.
that animatronic was sick.
Such a good, so good that it works. It would fit under naturally the human arm and stuff, and yet still look like it's very futuristic and robotic and stuff. Yeah, so well done.
And for the low budget that was as well, because prosthetics ain't cheap. I remember when I did I think you might have saw it when I had half my face latex stuff. It's on Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
The bottle of liquid latex cost me 40 quid. It was 20 quid for the makeup palette, another 20 quid for the brush. Completely 100 quid just for that first ever makeup look. So think of that, but think of some trying to make a prosthetic.
And this is not just a prosthetic. This is animatronics that you've custom built, and then skin on top of that that's grafted to look exactly like the actor's arm and hand and stuff, and then made to look completely real with blood and be able to cut it open and all that stuff. And
exactly,
work underneath the skin.
It's so good. That scene is really good. And we cut away from this badassery. Oh Jesus Christ! What the hell is this thing? To Sarah getting interrogated and Kyle being interrogated. And the Shrek.
We have a nice bit of banter between the cops as well.
The two cops, Lance Hendrickson, and what's the other actor? The other cop.
I'm not sure what his name is.
I feel like I've seen him in something. Hang on, we'll look for him.
By the way, that was the reason for.
Here we go. Paul Winfield, Lieutenant
you.
Ed Tracker. He's right above Lance Hendrickson, so we can safely assume it's him.
Yeah. By the way, that's the reason for Schwarzenegger wearing the Terminator wearing the glasses. Hence trying to cover up his big eye hole. But not sure why he wears glasses in the other films exactly.
I feel it just became part of his image. It became an iconic image. Just this guy.
Why would the Terminator?
Yeah, but it's like, why has he randomly got a leather jacket? He doesn't have a leather jacket when he goes, I'll be back at the start of the film. He just acquires a leather jacket in between scenes somehow.
No, but all this stuff just makes sense in this film, but in the other films, it's just...
It's all about the image, man. Everyone remembers Ali in these sunglasses.
He still has a sexy... He's still what? He's programmed to have a look cool.
Well, to be fair, it does kind of explain. He ends up in a biker bar.
Yeah, no, that stuff I'll get away, but like, why? It's still glasses. It's not. If anything, that would impede your vision. Whatever.
Yeah,
they were just trying to be retro to the first film.
They got to do. There's a lot of a lot of the lines from the second one, like reused from the first one, even the most iconic lines. Like Kyle Reese was the first one that said, "Call me, you want to live," but. Does anyone never not do that in an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice? No, of course not.
Yeah, it's kind of become a parody of itself almost at this point, hasn't it? The franchise.
Yeah, but
I feel like they've done
every word.
I feel like now they've done every version of "I'll be back" as well.
Oh,
yeah,
it's parody.
I'm back, but she'll be back.
I do love how Kyle Reese is the original one that says, "Call me, you want to live to Sarah," and then the Terminator in the second one, he says that to Sarah, and Sarah just looks at him like that. And I wonder, was it bloody John Connor that programmed that Terminator, and it's like
to say that exact line, maybe so that she would know that like he is actually here to say that, to say, make sure you say the exact same line,
given the familiarity sort of stuff. That
maybe
interesting bit. Yeah, there's a bit about playing the cops. We have the shrink who's in the second one as well, that is loving Kyle Reese's ramblings, and he sets up a lot of lore as well. Though we did say a massive point that you questioned, that apparently it's got to be it's only like living tissue that can go through the void.
That's through the time machine, which is cool and a cool concept. Hence why they have to come back naked. Yeah. And so the man proposes, and that's why he says like he couldn't bring back a super futuristic laser gun or something like that to take it down because it has to be organic matter that gets sent back in time. But then he rightfully questions that and says, "Well, you said this thing is a machine," and to which Gary says, "Well, yes, surrounded by human tissue."
Which led you to question the T-1000 from the second one.
And then it doesn't make quite sense in the second one why a liquid metal Terminator can come back. That only looks human. But, I mean, hey, that's not a fault of the first film, so which is what we're talking about.
I feel like the way to explain that second one is maybe it's they developed so much now that they can mimic human tissue, and that's how it's able to come through. Because they've come back through as a liquid form. He still came back as a human being, so... To be fair,
looking like a human being, yeah.
Yeah, and they probably was able to like replicate some human tissue and just disintegrate it. Like it's like Wolverine, he can replace cells. Maybe he can grow skin cells, then disintegrate and then regrow them again.
I think, from my knowledge of the second one, that's not what the Terminator is, though, because he can go full on, turn into a puddle of liquid metal, can't he, and then come back up. So I think all he is that metal that can just change its colour and shape and stuff.
It's one plot hole or not, who knows? But
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to watch it again. To be fair, maybe they do answer it. Yeah. But I think like that is a little because if the you could also say the answer is maybe the time machine technology just got better, so that they could send him back in time. But then why did they have to be naked? Because Schwarzenegger still comes back naked, doesn't he?
Well, he's still a robot, isn't he? So. I don't know. Maybe that robot just didn't have any clothes. Like they just assembled this robot and it's like, this robot's not got any clothes, so let's just chuck him in his time machine.
I mean, the answer to all these questions in all the other films is essentially just they set up the lore in this first one and they want to be reminiscent of the first one, which sometimes to its detriment. But
yeah, it's twisted a lot. But obviously, we had that police scene. Kyle's kept in interrogation. The therapist goes away thinking, I've got a great book material written up here. I can't wait to take him to my little psychic ward. The nice cops give Sarah Connor this bulletproof vest.
They say, hey, you've got nothing to worry about. There's 30 cops in this building.
Yeah, you're fine. And then old Arnie rocks up with his leather jacket and sunglasses. I see Sarah Connor. Cop at the desk is just like, I love how you pointed out. The guy's actually just finished his shift and is leaving as the Terminator walks.
Yeah, well, that's the psychologist guy, isn't it? He's heading out and he just like happens to leave literally the second.
The second goes the hell.
Just happens to not notice him, and it's like, oh man, he just
avoided
a grisly fate.
Because the guy on the desk is just like, Sarah Connor's home, just take a seat, wait for her there, and the Terminator just instead of sitting down, he just looks at this. And you can tell he's probably just analysing the structure of this thing and how he's able to break. It's just like...
Yeah, it's great.
And then we got the iconic line of, I'll be back.
Yes.
Walks out. comes charging in with a car, smashes through, and we have one of the most infamous parts of the film coming up.
And then just takes on the police station one by one and just
doing like machine gun in one hand, shotgun in the other.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's like Uzi 9mm, isn't it?
He never even drops the weapons. He literally has his arms in like the L formation the entire way through.
Yeah. Bless, I feel bad for some of the cops because sometimes they feel like, oh, we've got the drop on him, and they get a couple good shots in, thinking, yep, this will take him down, obviously. So they expose themselves like you would if you feel like you've got an opportunity, like maybe he's just run out of.
That's where the horror element in this
bam,
works.
Bam. But then, of course, he just still stood there. And
that's why the horror element in this film works. It's purely for that these are just normal cops just doing their day job, doing a bit of paperwork. Two guys come back from a coffee break and they just get shot as soon as they walk out the door.
One guy on the phone just like, slaughtered.
Yeah, he's just like chatting away and then like all just get massacred. He just goes through everyone. Our two favourite cops die. We don't quite see the main cop die, the Paul Winfrey cop die. He gets shot.
He gets shot and he falls down.
You see Lance Henriksen sort of check on him for a sec. Then he goes off and you see him and you don't even see Lance Henriksen get shot.
Oh, no,
he just gets shot off screen, but you assume that they're both dead and the place is burned down.
And then suddenly Sarah Connor's very happy to see this crazy man who kidnapped her before. She's like, Reese, like, fuck.
Yeah, Kyrie's gets the drop on the person who's supposed to watch him, manages the crime certificate, and they drive off into the sunset. But that whole sequence is just brutal. So that's probably the most horror-filled scene, like the cold blood murders of the Sarah Connors.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, and then just that great bit is just the Terminator just casually strides off the building with the place on fire, just this ravaged mess that just what this one Terminator can do,
Yeah, I find it
and
interesting
you think,
how...
and I think it leads it so nicely into the final third of the film because you're like, what the heck are they gonna?
Yeah,
how are they gonna get
do?
away with this? They're just two of them, and it's like he just took on an entire
police precinct with like all the firepower.
They had all these guns and stuff.
Like they went down to the SWAT van and everything. Got all the guns out and
sets it up so beautifully, I think, for the final act because you're just thinking like, how the heck are they going to get away from this guy?
And you just, I love how he also the Terminator, while he's focused on getting Sarah Connor, he doesn't kill everyone needlessly. Like in the cops, he sees them all as threats because they all have weapons. So.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, he's not going to stick around and make sure they're all there. Like, once they're out of his way, that's it. That's all he cares about is Sarah Connor, obviously.
Yeah. It's like in the bar scene where he first finds the proper Sarah Connor and goes for the shot. He doesn't even shoot. Like, he could shoot the entire bar, but he doesn't. The only time he starts shooting randomers is when Kyle starts shooting. So he's just like, right, I've got to get Sharon. Some people's unfortunate enough to be in his way.
Yeah. I think that's one of the cool things about it is, like, that he just thinks like a machine, like any efficient machine would. It's just how to get to the quickest thing.
But moving on, so they drive, they chill in an underpass. Kyrus did get shot briefly, and Sarah has to patch him up.
Oh yes, that's right, just a flesh wound. But
so she asked him to tell him about her son. So he goes through like what John's like, yada yada.
He reveals a little bit about what Sarah Connor is like as well, because like of what John's told him about.
Yeah, the legend of Sarah Connor. Like he volunteered.
And that she's like this amazing person who like taught him how to fight and stuff like that. And of course she's thinking like, what? This is crazy.
This is stuff I've never done, man. I love Light's little prelude because obviously we now know how she is in the second one. We're just like, we know that she's just Sarah Connor that she doesn't know yet. Yeah. So we very much feel like Kyle Reese now going back and being like, yeah, you're Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
She's still iconic in pop culture as an iconic heroine. Even in Dark Fate, like the new one that you've not seen, even people that don't like it admit Sarah Connor is still pretty badass.
Yeah.
So I think she read the script, it's like, you know what, I still look good, so yeah.
I think I heard her say something like she came back to it fine after all these years just because she'd been seeing like Expendables and stuff and all these other old men who like clearly should have retired still going out kicking ass and being badasses in films. So she was like, screw it, I'm going to do that because there's no other women doing that.
Yeah, she may as well.
Show that you can be an old lady and also still kick ass.
Yeah, shame that we'll never get that Alien 5. They had like an Alien 5 plan where they were going to have like Hicks be slightly deformed. Hicks would be alive. They would retcon Alien 3 and Edwin.
Well, I don't know, because in general, I think doing this, rehashing stuff from all years and years ago is rarely a good idea anyway. So
it's rarely done well, but that one I would have bought it more because it was going to be the same person that directed Chappie that was going to do it. But they had to shelve the idea because Ridley Scott said, "Look, let me finish my prequel trilogy before you go and make any sequels and that."
Sure.
So we never got that, and instead we got the Alien Covenant, which honestly, out of the 5 Alien films I've seen, counting Prometheus, it's my third favourite, even though everyone's stupid as shit in that film. Like, so stupid. So Danny McBride, though, was really good in that. Classic comedian doing a serious act. But anyway, we have a few flashbacks with good old Cat Reese. Well, not flashbacks, sort of flash forwards, really.
Oh, yeah,
like, throughout the film, there's like 2 or 3 of them, ain't there?
Oh, yeah, and this is where we get to see how absolutely awful the future is as well, don't we? Like, he goes into his underground base, and
Underground base, they use dogs to track the Terminators.
It's just people living underground, like, you know, huddled up. People just crying is just like the background noise of this place. Yeah, they have the dogs to keep, you know, because dogs don't like the Terminators. And like a little kid hunting a rat to eat. Like, it's really, really bleak, which I really liked in this. You know,
I do like the one little breath of fresh air, because there's that one little girl that just points a toy gun at Kyle, and Kyle humorously like indulges it with it.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like
them small little moments must mean
basic
the
kind of
world.
just fundamental sort of just joy. Oh man!
But then in that flashback, a Terminator comes through, shoots up the place.
So it's like they couldn't even have that. They couldn't even have that really crappy little fit of the future, because the Terminator has to waddle in, doesn't it? And
waddle in, take everyone out, and we see this photo. Kyle, for some reason, has a photo of Sarah Connor. We find out later why he's got it and stuff, but he has this photo, but he ends up dropping it into some fire during this Terminator attack we're trying to defend. One thing I do like is he obviously gets out there alive, but does he kill that Terminator, or does he just manage to escape? I like how they don't allude to if that Terminator's killed, if he just had to get away. They never allude to it. I like it that way, because they showed him killing the Terminator, and that would have taken all the mystique out of the Terminator we're dealing with right now. So the fact he just left it open-ended.
That's true.
And just did that amazing shot where you saw it in smoke, and you just saw a machine with red eyes. Like,
yeah,
the red eyes
man,
are what
the red
makes
eyes
it.
are real tasty in that, just showing you how inhuman these things really are. You know, no matter what they look like. But also, like, I think it's because for him, like, it's a memory, and like the main thing that happened for him was because he's fallen in love with Sarah Connor, essentially, hasn't he, through this photo, and like, so seeing it, that photo, that was when the photo got destroyed. You know, like, it fell into the fire and got burnt and whatever. That's all he remembered from that. Whatever happened after that, the crazy escapade of him shooting his way out, whatever he did, that's day-to-day life for him. You know, that's not important. Like, that's not something to log away in your memory banks. But the time he lost that photo, the last time he ever looked at her face, you know, something that really like would have stuck in his memory.
Yeah, for him that was like losing like the person that he cared about the most somehow, and it's.
I feel like it was really like the one thing that kept him going, wasn't it? I think through this horror show of a future. Which he tells her in the very next bit, really.
They get a hotel. Next, but they go to a motel, very bath, and they want to make some like little pipe bombs. There's a nice little adorable dog there, foreshadowing, by the way, that nice little dog.
Yeah.
And Sarah's just like, well, we have a little scene with the Terminator, like doing stuff in the motel room.
Does the dog bark when the Terminator shows up?
It barks. That's how they knew the Terminator was going on.
That was one little thing I was watching it going like, how did they know he was coming? But now
they heard a dog bark. Like,
brilliant. Yeah, it's so tight, this script.
It's really tightly short, and they just like that dog's a MacGuffin, just like, yep, here's a dog, and now he's gonna bark later. Now we have a little scene with the Terminator just fixing himself some more. He's still a bit battered, and then he tells the clerk to F off, basically, because he basically smells like rotten flesh. He has human skin, but it's like a day-old wound that's got to smell. So
the guy notices it, and then he like picks through a list in his head.
I know,
like appropriate responses, I guess, is what he's been logging of what humans respond to, and he decides.
Fuck you, I'm just like, oh, then I'll go then. And he just walks out of a machine gun, and the guy in a little Nike shirt, just like,
above his head, like brilliant.
But yeah, they're in this motel. They've made some pipe bombs. Sarah just starts doing the shit where fucked he is. It's going to keep coming in it and blah, blah, blah. She asks Kyle about the future, about the woman, is there someone else out there? And then Kyle admits that he fell in love. He talks about the photo and how he's always wondered what she's thinking about in that moment.
Because John Connor gave it to him. Yeah,
which it's nice little full circle, because it reveals at the end that basically she's thinking about the short time they have with each other. She's literally thinking about what happens like 30 seconds from then, basically.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because he confesses their love. Yang was just like, nope, shouldn't have said that, like full on Hagrid style. Should not have said that.
Yeah.
I should not have said that. And Yeah, they both actually can get as spoiler alert. Kyle Reese is John's father.
Sweet, passionate love.
Sweet herb. To be fair, it was a beautifully shot scene. Just the close up of the hand holding as well.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Like that is just like,
and you know, it's important because that's
that
the conception of John Connor as well.
Yeah, that is a loving thing as well. Like one night stands, they don't hold hands, but lovers that love each other, they are gonna hold and sweat things out. So it's just a nice, beautiful. For something that could have been seen as just smut, because this was the 80s when like slasher was a thing, well, a big thing, and there was just tits for the sake of tits. This one felt artistic, and it felt really well done.
Completely essential to the plot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then obviously they're getting dressed after.
Plus, you know, for the love of God, I was watching it thinking like, please, yes, can we have a bit of something just joyful, something beautiful for a moment?
Yeah,
this has been bloody awful this whole time. Like your roommate's gotten slaughtered. You've just been on the run constantly. No matter where you go, you are not safe. The future, and he's telling you in the future it's all going to go to shit as well. Like nothing about this has been pleasant so far. So it's like we needed that. We really needed that little respite. You know, they deserved it absolutely.
Oh, it is. I can't see, and obviously anyone that with half a mind will be like, yeah, that's how John Connor's produced then.
Yeah.
Which makes sense to why John Connor gives him that photo, because it's like, right, his mum's obviously told him that Kyle Reese fell in love with her because of this photo that you give him in the future. So she gives him the photo, and then he gives Kyle Reese the photo so he could fall in love with her.
Yeah.
And this is probably like ages before he's been sent back. So it's like, right, I know Kyle, I'm going to give him this photo until we eventually find this time machine thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to... And by this point, he's going to be so in love with Sarah Connor, he's going to volunteer to go back.
Which is why, you know, it's interesting. It's great. And this cyclical time thing that happens a lot in time travel stuff was, you know, written into it from the beginning. And I feel like they had a really good opportunity in McGee's version of Terminator, the Salvation, because he went to that time period in the future, and he saw, and we saw John Connor, and we saw Kyle Reese, and we saw their meeting and everything, and you had this chance to have this real build up, this, you know, to see that, you know, which I thought was a really cool way to look at it. But that's a whole... It didn't go so great.
Yeah, I might watch it. Like,
it's worth watching. It's definitely worth watching.
I need to watch both Salvation and Genesis just so I can do a ranking list.
The main problem with it is that he just wanted to do a load of other weird stuff that he wanted to do, and it didn't.
Oh yeah, there was like a half human, half Terminator in there. Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that really didn't work for the Terminator franchise that he just injected in, which is a real shame because I feel like a quarter of that film is really, really good. But anyway, yeah, that's another discussion for another time. Definitely watch it.
That sounds like describing the Assassin's Creed film. That was like...
Really, yeah.
Literally, like, the stuff when it was actually in the past, it was great, and then, like, a lot of the present-day future stuff was just shite. But anyway, dog barks, so, like, shit, we need to get out of there. So Terminator bursts through the door, shoots at the bed, and a big chase scene ensues. This one, some pipe bombs are being thrown.
Yeah. Kyle Reese gets shot.
Yeah, this time not a flesh wound, like a proper, I think it's a gut shot or something. It's like a heavy shot, like a proper
it's a bad one.
knock floor you shot. And so at this point, I don't know what it is, but after her and Kyle like get together, Sarah, you suddenly start to see Sarah change a bit.
Yeah, there's a bit where he just said, at one point he just says swap, and they just quickly swap over, and she takes the driver's seat, you know, and like starts driving. And it, like, without thinking, it was just like straight into it then, you know. It was a little thing, but it was like, yeah, you know, Sarah Connor 2 scenes ago would have been like, what? And like leaned over awkwardly and like not sure what to do, you know. But like now she's getting more with it. You know?
Now she's getting more with it, getting more of the pace of things. She's getting used to the terror. Like after a while, I think after so many times I've been running from this machine, you're just like, well, I need to embrace it.
I know the drill, you know. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's natural. It felt natural and slow, like this progression of her.
And then the car crashes, but so does the Terminator's car, and he gets
a truck. He gets full on, like run over by this massive truck,
this massive oil tanker.
Yeah,
and I was like, and naturally they stop. It's like, shit, what the fuck's this? So the oil tanker guy gets out. I don't think the Terminator kills him. He just sort of knocks him out.
Yeah, like knocks him to the ground, I think, and then
gets in the driver's seat and tells the passenger to get out.
Just tells the passenger to get out. Yeah.
That's right. By this point, his face is just fucked up. Like half it's just gone.
Yeah. He's a bit shredded. He's limping at this point, isn't he?
Yeah, Kyle is wounded. He is hobbling. They only barely got.
Well, the Terminator's hobbling.
The Terminator's limping a little bit. Yeah, because his legs
are a bit crushed by the tanker. And so, of course, he's coming out with the tanker, and Kyle Reese is like, after the car crash as well, like he's barely getting
he's not doing well.
But And which is why again it's good because it's like let's take Sarah to grab him this time and yank him up and be
Yeah,
like, come
she's
on,
now got.
we're going.
She's not being protected anymore. She's got to protect him now.
Yeah. Which is nice seeing that nice change.
Then Cal pulls out a flare and just tells Sarah to run ahead because Terminator's going to ignore him. He's got after Sarah.
Yeah.
Cal lights a flare, shoves it in the pipe of his tanker, and
we got a nice big Hollywood explosion when the thing explodes.
Probably where a good 500,000 of the budget went, just on that one explosion.
Pretty great.
It was a very good practical explosion. The practical stuntman as well coming out. On fire.
Guy on fire coming out of the thing, falling
And as you put it, like at this point, you think, "Oh, this is the happy ending now. That thing must be dead."
Well, yeah, watching it, you're just like, okay, that's done it, right? Surely you see him fall to ground and stuff, and then they like run together and hug, and it's like, and you think, oh, good, like because honestly, especially since we're about an hour and 20 minutes in at this point.
Yeah.
You know, you and after everything you've been through, you genuinely do feel like, okay, this that'd be a satisfying ending, even if the film did.
That would have been a very Hollywood conclusion
think,
to it.
Yeah. But then, of course,
he
the
just
full-on robo-skeleton, we see it in all its glory.
Now, that is the first time we ever see a Terminator thing.
Proper endoskeleton.
The design on that thing is great. I wish I'd done more research onto what they did with it, because it was like a mix of stop motion and like practical puppeteering as well, I feel.
Yeah.
Some animatronic stuff, maybe?
Definitely animatronic stuff. I think they had like the upper torso and head animatronics that they had on like on wheels or something, and then they've had like individual arms so they could do close-ups of that, but every time they had to have the whole body move, obviously they had to do like miniatures, I think, with from what I remember, with stop motion.
Yeah, when they're being chased, there is like the only thing that hasn't aged well about this film for me, like the face mask from Arnold Schwarzenegger isn't great, but it's for girl because it's a machine. This one, you got like this weirdly lit green screen in the corridor. You got this stop motion Terminator, and then you got Kyle and Sarah in the front, and it just is so jarring. But I feel like it's just that one shot. It's a shot literally the next day to the Terminator. Same stop motion on a different background. It looks a lot better.
Yeah.
But for that one particular shot,
it's just because they had to composite them in, and the lighting was a little.
Yeah, there was like good 3 or 4 composites on there, and.
But yeah, it's only for a second, and then we're right back to it, and like again, we're in a big industrial building, of course.
Yeah, Kyle is collapsing a lot.
It just seems like a running theme. These sort of big. It's only fitting that it's in a big machine warehouse. That they have to like finally do the final.
Oh yeah, the Terminator, when he finally busts through the door after Sarah's dragged Kyle Reese up, and she is just becoming more and more. You're just seeing the early stages of Sarah Connor in Terminator 2 at this point, but Terminator walks in, you just see it looking at all these machines, just like. Grandpa?
Well, he does look around slightly confused, doesn't he?
It's like, wait, what?
Huh. Yeah.
Because he only knows
like familiar, eerily familiar, yet strange.
Prehistoric.
Yeah.
It's like whether they met a caveman. Like, it would be weird. It's like, that was us. Like,
enough to give a little glance of like, huh. Yeah, that was nice.
It's interesting. But then it eventually catches up to him, and Kyle Reese, who is literally on his last legs now, pretty much, thinks, right, I'm just going to take this bastard on.
Takes him on one-on-one.
Then he has one last pipe bomb, shoves into the Terminator's hole, and an explosion goes off, and Kyle falls backwards down the stairs. And a bit of shrapnel is landing in Sarah Connor's leg. She has to literally pull that shit out. I think that was a practical effect as well. You literally see her pull that thing out of her skin.
Yeah.
No, it was a very nice effect. Low lit.
He's out for the count. He's done.
Yeah, he's dead.
But you saw the Terminator explode, so you think, oh, frick, Kyle Reese is gone. But this was still a bit more of a sad ending, but here it is. Here's the real ending. The Terminator's gone.
Yeah, literally, you have this, because he rolls backwards and you're like, oh, maybe he survived, but there was a classic thing in the 80s and 90s where someone was dead, they wouldn't be eyes closed, it would be eyes open and mouth again.
Oh, yeah, he was like he died in pain.
But you knew he was going out anyway, and it's like sad, and then suddenly this Terminator, that's just a torso and arm.
Motherfucking relentless. It's this Terminator, this non-stop creature comes back, doesn't he? He's only in half. He's only got a torso now and arms and a head, but he comes crawling for her. He's still at it.
Which is honestly, I think that's my favourite sequence in the film because it's a practical effect.
Yeah.
They're showing it claw at Sarah that can't quite grab. She's crawling through this little vent.
Yeah.
And then,
of course, she's like, really injured at this point as well.
Yeah, now she's just like, just give me a fucking break, man. Like, Jesus.
You're just thinking, you're like, gee, really? You're like, really? And it's like, now it's got to be mano a mano, It's like, has Sarah learnt enough from this film to take on this Terminator, what's left of it, by herself, you know, and it's like the Sarah Connor at the start of this film wouldn't have been able to.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, you made a great little point. Like, she gets out, shuts the skate on him so he can't get to her, but he can sort of reach her neck, and she looks it dead in the eye while it's got his hand on her throat, reach for Finn. You made a great point how when they first meet each other, she's just a deer in headlights. She is fucked, but now we just got this. But it's just sick of his shit, really.
Yeah, she's willing to stare it down and take it on to the last second. You know, she's not scared of death anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
and I feel like this one line just needs more recognition. You're Terminator fucker.
Yeah, that's so great. I can't believe no one ever quotes that one. That's such a for me. That is my favourite quote in the whole film. Is "You're Terminator fucker." That's such just venom in her voice of like, you're Terminator. The venom in her voice,
she's sort of like, oh fucking hell. She's like dead. Like presses the thing, and this pressure comes down, crushes the Terminator. All that's left is this arm that's still wrapped around her. But they confirm it's dead because you see its red light go out.
That is the nice way to be like, that's the only way you know, isn't it, when a Terminator is fully gone?
It's just like the light in its eye has gone out. It's dead, so it can stay there now. And there's me thinking, because I know about the second one, I'm like, why don't you shake the hand with her? But then obviously she gets picked up by paramedics.
Well, she had to be dragged out of that place, didn't she?
Yeah,
I mean,
she was
probably just laid there, you know, in awe of everything that's happened and misery until someone found her and fucking took her to get care and stuff.
Yeah, definitely a little shock. And then we get a little epilogue, cuts to, I would say, about 5 minutes later, she has a little bump. She's driving a little Jeep. She's got a nice little
somewhere
dog.
In Mexico, it seems?
Probably on the border, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe.
And she's
got an awesome doggo.
Awesome doggo, the chameleon, that, or gecko, whatever it was, we don't see him anymore.
He got upgraded to a dog.
Just turned it into a dog, yeah.
It digivolved.
Yeah, she's at this gas station recording this little tape for John, basically these tapes to guide him when he gets older. That's what I would love to see in Terminator 2, is Edward Furlong listening to these tapes, but I'm going to assume he never does.
Again, I won't say too much, but watch Terminator Salvation. Because that comes back.
Does it now?
Yeah.
But now I'm going to have to watch it. They bring that element back. That was an interesting element. But yeah, she's talking about, like, me and your father, well, I'm going to tell you about your father because I owe him, and blah, blah, blah. And this kid takes a photo of her. And it's literally about Kyle.
Just as she looks off thinking about Kyle Reese and all about him and stuff.
I just love the symmetry of that. Like, I was always wondering, like, what are you thinking about? That's why I fell in love with you. She's thinking about you, man.
Yeah, it's so sweet. It's like,
it's heartbreaking.
For all the horror and the sci-fi, there's a love story across space and time in it, which is really sweet.
Actually, the love story happens quick, but you buy it because of the situation.
Yeah, it's just like that kind of desperation, of the situation of the horrible times, and it's only a small part of it, but I think it's enough to keep it all. It's like a cheeky little bit of glue.
It gives a bit of backbone to it.
Yeah, to keep you all like on board for everything that happens in it.
Plus, it was nice to know who John Connor's father was. It could have just been like he was a protector, and then it's just some random guy that you never see. The fact that you never see his dad, and now they were exceeding that.
Yeah. And I remember watching it and genuinely about 3/4 of the way through being like, oh, he's his dad? Oh my god. That was a great moment,
I do love the irony that the Terminators are the ones that created their own arch nemesis. Because if that Terminator hadn't gone back to kill Sarah Connor, then Kyle Reese wouldn't have gone back.
It's all cyclical, brother.
It's all them layers. Like, we just try to ignore, but Terminators create their own worst enemy. Kid asks for $10. She gives him $40, I think. She says quattro, so I'm assuming she gives him 4 times as much.
She gives him 4, right?
Something like that.
Anyway.
It was like $5 to $10, like $1 to $10, or my dad will hit me or something like that. For a little line. And she's like, quattro, keeps the photo.
Oh, and then the guy said, what is it the guy says?
Oh, yeah, the kid says something else. And she's like, what did he say? It's like, he says there's a storm coming. She's like, yes, there he is.
She's like, I know.
Little nods to
she's mother freaking ready this time, yeah.
Yeah, dare I say at the end, like, because for the film, her hair's been made up. Like, she's got makeup on because she was up going on that date, and it's just worn away, and the hair's got more messy as the film's gone through. At the end, she's like no makeup, proper hippie kind of look.
It was she's just full on, just like it's just she's just not that person anymore. Like she's not trying to please anybody. She knows more than any human should at that time period, and she a gorgeous shot as well. She drives off in the end, and she's driving off into the distance, into the hills, and you see the storm clouds just appearing from the left-hand side, like the incoming, future that only she knows about and she has to get ready for.
Symbolic, and
very tasty.
That was Terminator. It is a film that everyone says is great, but I don't feel it gets nearly as much love as the second one, because the second one is arguably the greatest action movie of our time.
I mean,
Arguably.
it's bloody amazing, yeah. I mean, maybe we should watch that as well another day, and then
Oh yeah,
do
yeah.
a little.
Shall we do like a full series on this? Just go
I'd like
through each
that.
Terminator
I'd like that
film?
actually. Yeah, that'd be cool.
To be fair, I'm trying to do a podcast episode every 2 weeks. That'd be very good. Just a little film
Cool.
review of it. But now, overall, though, what are your overall thoughts on Terminator after a little rewatch?
Yeah, I mean, it was really lovely to watch it after all these years. After feeling like, because I sort of had this idea for years that like, oh, the second one is clearly the superior film and it's so amazing, and I sort of kept dismissing the first one as almost a little too another one of those 80s schlocky, a little cheap sort of budgety, not so well thought out things, and then the second one elaborated on it and made it bigger and better. And in a sense, the second part of what I just said is still correct. Like it did get bigger, and you know, develop the story a little bit more. But the nuggets are all there in this first one. Everything you can like about Terminator and the franchise of it is all here in this first one. You know, in small amounts, and not only that, but it's just as just a standalone film as well. If you'd never seen it and it never had anything else, I feel like the Terminator is a great watch. It keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole way through. It's engaging enough. It's interesting enough. It challenges you intellectually enough to understand what's going on. And it's also freaky and original and horrific.
Yeah, it's got a lot of elements to it. I feel like Terminator 1 falls in the trap as, say, Alien or even X-Men does, whereas everyone well, to be fair, Aliens are probably a bit unfair because Alien and Aliens are two completely different films, and there's always debate which one's better. But things like X-Men, the first X-Men, it was like the world builder, the setup, but everyone just remembers X-Men 2 as the superior one. And,
Yeah.
and everyone just sort of dismisses the first one, just like, yeah, it's fine, but it's not as good as the second one. And I also say Terminator 2 is easily the best of the Terminator films by far a mile, but maybe, well, say if it was a mile ahead of Terminator 1 before I watched it, I'd say it's like 3/4 of a mile now. Like a bit closer, because
Yeah.
you see a lot, but because of Terminator 2 and knowing what Sarah Connor becomes, watching Kyle Reese bigger up like this in the first one, you are feeling like you are Kyle Reese just watching this badass that doesn't even know they're a badass yet.
Yeah.
It just works really well, and
it seems to know more than it should in a way. But I feel like it has everything. Like it really set up that sort of vibe that it has. You know, that kind of that gritty, futuristic, dark, horrific sort of sci-fi. You know, it set it up beautifully in the first. Like you wouldn't have the second one without the first one. You know, like it had to be there, and it had to have all those elements in the right place for it to be bigger and better. You know, for it to use that as a stepping stone for the next film.
Yeah, I personally would love for it just to be a 2-movie franchise, because I feel like the second one ended so perfectly, and then the third one just shall over it.
Yeah,
that's why
man.
I'm more forgiving to Dark Fate, but.
But you know, if it had just been 1 and 2, yeah, that would have been just a gorgeous pair that would go down in history as like these gorgeous little films.
I'm trying to think if there's any. Oh, I mean, people can say like, oh, trilogies are a thing though, but it's like no, pairs can work. For example, in the last decade, we had 21, 22 Jump Street, both equally good comedy films. They've not made a third one. There's been clamouring for a third one, but it's not been made.
You can't say that it has to be a third film as well. Like some films work on their own, and some films work as 2, some films work as a 3.
I feel it's like, what do we call this? The duo? Because obviously you have your solo film, your trilogy, your quadrilogy, your franchise. What's a duo?
Yeah.
A duology?
Duology sounds quite good.
The Terminator duology, that's what it's going to be called now.
I hope so.
Well, you know, I've had a lot of fun with this. You were saying, what am I going to say? We've literally been talking for over an hour now about
no
this.
way.
Literally an hour and 2 minutes we've been talking about this.
God bless you if you made it to the end of this.
Lots to say. But yeah, if you have somehow made it to the end of this, and I would love it if you have, let me know if you want to see some more Terminator discussions. We're going to be discussing Parasite soonish. Don't know when this episode's going to go out. It will depend. If you listen on SoundCloud, please drop it a like. If you listen to this on YouTube and just look at the boring visuals I'm throwing on top of this, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button. That would really help a lot. And let me know what you'd like to see us talk about next, because I would quite like to continue this actually.
Yeah, same.
I generally go to like other film YouTubers, but it's nice to have people close to home that I can just sit and chat movies with.
Yeah,
Less
no,
lag
cool.
with Skype and that as well. Is there anything you want to add just to round us off?
Give Terminator, if you haven't watched Terminator, like if you only know Terminator through all the hype, which I know a few people do, like some of my friends are a bit sick of it, actually, to be honest, that they just hear like the Terminator and they're just like, oh, when are people going to shut up about Terminator? I keep hearing about Terminator. I'd say go back, watch the very first one and see what you think of it. If you're done with it there, if you think that's, it wasn't that great, fine, stop there. But if you like what you see in that first one, there's a lot to like in that one, and there's so much more to like in the second one as well. The duology, that's all you need.
So yeah, this I would potentially give it my rating now, but I'll probably do like a standard solo review. This is more of a discussion, break down the ins and outs of it.
Cool.
And I've had a lot of fun with this one. And yeah, like I said, do feel free to stick around for more content coming to this channel all the time. And until next time, everybody, this is that Spikehead Podcast signing off.
I'll be back.
Hey, thank you for watching and thank you for making it to the end of the video. While you are here, if you haven't done it yet, please feel free to drop a like and consider hitting that subscribe button for more reviews coming all the time. And also, while you are here, there are some other videos over there that you might want to sink your teeth into. Have a good day, guys, and do enjoy.